me up either. Same goddamn problem. Oh, shittles. Da 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 da. If it was up to me, I would be lame as shit. We're gonna have to redo that whole intro. Try now. Hold on. I got a I got a trick. Hey, I got a trick for this. Not too bad. Hold on. I got a trick for this. That's an Arco. Hold on. What do you want us to call you? Mike? Okay. All right, I'm Dan. Nice to meet you formally. Yeah. Because you watched the show before. Hold on, I gotta back out of Discord real quick because my OBS is being a little bitch. Sweet. All right, show. Just everybody be cool. We'll redo the opening that you can actually hear it. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Yeah. Oh, you sound fine. Why aren't you? Hey, you know what? I got to do everything all the goddamn time.
Pigs.
All right, there it is. Try now.
Howdy.
There you go. Now try.
Howdy.
I am the great and mighty gangster, please.
All right. Da-da-da, technical difficulties because I was too busy doing theory work.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Playing with AI.
Yeah, I am playing with AI. Where's that damn recording? It should be 6.4. Now try.
Howdy.
I am
All right, let's try this again. Now try.
Howdy.
I am
All right, it's working. Woo! Should I read that whole thing again or just say fuck it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead and read it.
Yeah, I think you
it
should
would be
read
a good
it.
idea.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
found this incredibly racist AI.
Oh, that's aren't all of them? I feel like the best name for AI is like bias finder,
Yeah.
like automatic bias finder.
I can tell you the bias. I'll tell you what. We'll let the AI speak for itself, if you will. I'm going to read my statement, and then we'll read what it decided to add to it. So, my paragraph. Ready? The specific issue with American blackness is simultaneously that it is at once a scapegoat for the real issue of white American racism, and that class issues are folded into the concept of blackness, such that class is made indistinguishable to disguise a dichotomy that is truly simultaneously wealth and whiteness and lack of wealth and blackness. That is to say, then, the simulacrum created allows for the continued perpetuation of anti-black stereotypes and anti-black bigotry under the guise of what liberals call white guilt, or rather, apologetic white supremacy. And sorry, we will still be superior is an unacceptable continuing condition. Okay, that's me, right? That statement's fine. It can be disagreed with, but it's fine. I'm not like, oh, it's black people's fault. Ready? But while racism may still be an insidious and effective tool of black men as well as women, it is clear that it is the racist oppression they commit which is the issue and the question for many of us. Because
There's one thing I can think of whenever I think of black men and women.
It's their racist
It's the
oppression.
racism that they commit.
Yeah, the racist oppression they're doing. Yeah. I know. All those if you take that bot statement like legitimately, all those black people who keep getting murdered by cops are oppressing white people.
Stop oppressing me. Bang, bang, bang,
Fucking,
bang.
how could George Floyd stay under that guy's knee for so long?
How
That
dare he
son of
do
a
that to that
bitch.
man? Attack that cop psychologically like that.
With his back. Jesus
In
Christ.
his lungs.
Because we must confront and confront and confront before we will leave America. Well, that's weird.
Or we will leave America.
Yes. As we face
Go
racial,
presumably to space.
yeah, it seems like it took on a first-person formation, and on the black person. As we face racial and systemic issues, we will need to see ourselves as part of the solution. That is to say, as a community that is united by the common good and not by the privilege of the privileged. Welfare cleans. That's what comes to mind with that sentence.
Did this bot just like create new national socialism or something?
Yeah.
Like go back to Europe and then there we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, horrible. Horrible.
We're not even done. For me and many others in particular.
National Democratic Socialism.
Yeah. Blackness in power is what it represents. If I am not given a voice in the oppression, see, it did go to the first person, facing our communities and our lives, if I'm not given the freedom to be a part of the movement, to think as a race within the movement, I'm wondering what race it's thinking as.
An AI.
Yeah.
The machine race.
Can you just imagine a robot with a chaw in? Like, that's what this feels like.
I feel like there's a movie about this.
Yeah. Badass. Hey, do you... Okay.
What if Hal was like Tucker Carlson?
Yeah. What if it was Tucker Carlson? You know what? I got to say, oh, you don't have to mute. We like the breathing. That's part of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes us feel weird that you're being semi-professional. We don't do that here. Not in these parts.
I just have to, you know, if we're talking about racism, AI, and all these heavy topics. True, like this is truly a heavy topic. Fuck AI. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Go knee deep in there, just swim.
Yeah.
Gotta handle it like you would uranium, like with a tong.
Yeah.
Oh shit! It's on the floor.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. Oh, I boiled my coffee. Well, it would be a waste not to drink it, you know.
Well, I wonder what's underneath.
That is how I boil my coffee, though. I have uranium mines in South Africa. I'm kind of like.
Are you
Is there
like
a more
brother of
efficient way
Elon
to?
Musk or
Is there a
something?
more efficient way?
I'm kind of like the
No.
Jewish Elon Musk.
There is one better way. It's with the water cooling of like a great war gun. That gets it done real quick.
Fact, and it's delicious coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good excuse to go buy a great war gun.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with MG42 or Owen's gun or whatever you choose, really.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Good. While you do that, I'll introduce the show then. Properly.
Wait, we're doing a show?
Yeah, we do that once in a while.
That's nice.
I have
Yeah.
this radiation hole in my floor.
Don't worry about that.
Is it
we had
above
to
your
route it through
toilet?
somewhere.
Is it above your
It will
toilet?
only kill you in 2 days.
Can you pee into it?
The question is it a new toilet?
Yeah, did the toilet survive the uranium burns?
I don't know, but R. Kelly's standing over there.
Oh, did you piss on R. Kelly?
Who watches the Watchmen?
Who pisses the pissers? little
Who
script
wipes the
flip.
wipers?
Yeah, script flipped. I like it. All right, so yeah, this is the Sons of Trier podcast and live stream. I am, as always, Dan Cohen, your host with the least, the Jewish feast, the beast from the east, the second son of Trier, the man with no pubic hair who waves his arms like you just don't care. And I'm joined.
Wacky waving arm inflatable
Yeah,
tube man.
I was just about to ask. Do you work for like a used car lot?
No, I'm just bad at rapping.
Okay.
Ha 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 ha.
And I am joined by John Sinclair,
Yes, sir.
Eat the Rich, aka Gangsta Glees, aka the artist formerly known as Eat the Rich, aka what is it now?
No, it's Gangsta Cleese.
Still
Just
Gang.
keeping it
Puerto
classy,
Rican
keeping it
rattlesnake?
classy.
Okay.
Yeah, Puerto Rican rattlesnake. Yeah.
And the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. I'm joined by Jank Angles.
Back for another round.
Back for another round. Yeah. And we're all disappointed for it, but we're not disappointed by Maeillory.
What's up, internet dweebs and weebs?
Yes, that is our market. And tonight we got a special guest from the Babby cast. It is Mike.
Yeah, Mike, or since we're going with nicknames, the Nuclear Man from the New World.
The Nuclear Man from the New World. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to be the socialist man from the land of Japan then.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It worked out really well. I'm impressed, actually.
Yeah, but I'm a white guy, and I just pretend to
Hey,
be
this
a
is
samurai.
socialist future Japan. They accept anyone.
Yeah. Can I be a samurai? I want to be a samurai.
You can be a samurai. It's your choice,
I
really.
gotta be bald on top. I gotta look like Steven Seagal samurai mode.
But then you got to help the UFC because that's what Steven Seagal does, and that's no fun.
Well, I just want to look like him though. I want to be bald on top, a ponytail in back, and I want to have a samurai sword as I roll around in like a desk chair.
Okay, all right. You
All
can
right.
get a movie. You get a movie and a paycheck.
Okay, and anime statues in jars for reasons.
Okay, you can use your paycheck for that, but we don't comp that here.
No, if it's not a goddamn deal, I walk, sir.
You can walk. We've
Ah.
given far enough
I think
anime
you'll-
cum jars out.
I
I've
think
got
you'll
terrible
find.
news for you about the pay plan.
I think you'll find. I think you'll find, sir, that desk chair. It's replacing a wheelchair. I can't walk. So joke's on you. I already got the chair.
You can take the chair out of the office. We don't after sitting in it. We don't want it anymore.
Yeah,
we
well,
don't want that.
Joke's on you. I was taking it anyway. So your permission just changes it from a crime to not a crime.
We weren't gonna call anyone. I mean, feel
Yeah.
free. Have a great day.
Yeah. That was a weird riff. That's how I like it.
All right.
I like it to get weird. Yeah. So you kind of missed the pre-production chat, but that's what I was talking about. This is my right now. My problem with capitalism is this is the way the power structure is, and it basically like it's all ways to abrogate power. And if you look at like the current like left solution is like let's figure out more ways to abrogate power away from ourselves. Like
Yeah, entirely.
yeah. So it's like this sucks. We're really in a shitty mind here.
Well, actually, that really touches a little bit in with what I was going to talk about today. So I think that it all works out in the end.
Oh, you have a topic? Thank God.
Yeah,
I was
oh,
winging it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
I wrote something down. I couldn't fucking figure out for a week, but I got it. I did it.
you nailed it. You got its ass.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
I got the Mr. Nuclear. Okay. All right, let me go to my Google document.
Okay.
Oh, so you've already lied to us once. You did not actually write
Hey,
it down.
hey, shut up.
Hey,
It's
I
all
can't
falling
write.
apart.
This is the best. Hey, this is a form of writing. I hate written word. So tech is the closest thing I'll get.
All right,
hate
fair
it.
enough.
That's how I do pictures. Plus, then people understand me better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
try to do
Beautiful.
hand gestures. And,
The pictures. That's how people understand you.
yeah, and shadow puppets. I find
Yeah.
that's wonderful as well.
I actually do a mean set of shadow puppets for my kid.
Fun fact, both equally effective on a podcast.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know I could set the picture to be this, but it's just like, God help me, I don't want people to see how bad my drawings are.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It belongs on a fridge of like a home.
Is your drawing the Kool-Aid Man? Was that your drawing?
No. No.
Oh, I feel like I should go to the stream real quick just to check it out.
No, if you go to the text channel, I dropped my drawing in there.
That's fantastic.
Shut up. Don't.
Is this from the Louvre?
Yeah, kind of, but the British sense of the word. Yeah.
All right. That's enough of that. No more funny talk because
I'm sorry.
we gotta talk about colonialism and white supremacy's dirty roots in communism. And
Oh wow. Okay.
I know
The
and
roots in communism.
I know it sounds
Sure,
ridiculous.
predates
I know.
it.
Hey, there's no hate to the communists. Love the communists. Love the Marxists. But Marx was a little bit racist. He was a little bit big time racist.
Hold on.
And
I gotta go get Cool Zone. I'm not having this fight.
I
You just walked in my house and pissed on the floor.
I did. I kind of knew that's
Puddles.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be pissing like all over your rug. You guys are gonna need to get a whole new fucking rug by the
Oh,
end.
don't
Just
worry.
use the
My
uranium
floor is
hole.
still covered in piss.
I just want to point out I want to point. Okay, I do have to push back on the premise. The
Yeah,
white
okay.
supremacy and its roots in
me too.
communism. What the hell
Yes.
was happening in 1847?
Hey, I know,
Let
I know.
him make
Hey,
the point. This will be
listen,
clear.
listen. I understand. I understand the fucking context of it all. It's horrible. Everyone in the 1800s probably like double Hitler. I
Oh.
do understand this. I do.
Everyone is
you-
at least double Hitler.
What the
Allow-
hell was
allow-
happening in
Allow me to
1846?
retort. Allow me to retort. What?
Yeah, I'll hear it out. I'll hear it out. But
Boy, you
I-
really just fucking came in here, threw a fucking hornet's nest down, and
I-
said, "Here you go. I brought a present for you guys."
Exactly. I
Okay.
knew that was what I was doing, which is why colonialism is such a fucking hard topic to discuss in the left because it's a little bit baked in there and it's hard to talk about because you crunch on it and you're like, is there glass in this sandwich?
what the
It's a
hell?
wonderful sandwich, but there's
Well,
glass in here.
okay, but like the problem is like again, it's like what was happening in 1845? What about 1844, 1843, 1842, 1840? Like I could do this back to
Listen,
1776 and
listen,
before.
It's
None of
I'm
that
just-
shit was
I'm just-
communism.
I'm
Let
just
him-
saying
let him
I'm
make the
just saying
point, Dan.
I'm just saying that I'm just saying because that is the setup for our modern day situation. That is to how we understand where we are today, and especially as a left, and as just as people in the world.
Okay,
Because I'm not gonna. There was the hey, I'm not gonna. There was like communistic efforts and other things before 1841, like the Hussites.
utopian socialism. That's not.
I sure. I mean, yes, there is
Yeah,
utopian
sorry,
socialism.
capitalism and slavery is not the same thing.
We're going to be clear on our terms. We're going to be clear on
There's
our
also
terms.
Keynesianism, and there's a lot of different modes of thought, and especially in the olden leftist kind of way, and especially if you try to broaden the horizon.
If anything, it'd be the baby of the Enlightenment.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I can't imagine the monarch. I can imagine the monarch in a different form of bigotry. He was the monarch, but okay. Please continue.
Yeah, let's hear you continue with your.
Oh, I'm just
where's your
trying
next piece of evidence?
I'm trying to. Okay, well, I have quite the surmounting. So there was this guy named Lewis Henry Morgan. He was, and it still is, a little bit prominent in anthropological circles. Lewis Henry Morgan, not really known too well today, but him and Marx were actually really, really kind of like, they were kind of tight, kind of like Marx and fucking Abraham Lincoln were. They were sending each other letters. People don't really like to talk about those letters, but there is usually from an older perspective, they see it as the very fundamental basics of what he was building upon and how he saw it. And I mean, it was very, I'm not sure, phenomenal work for the time. It was very all encompassing, and of course, it's Das Kapital, the Communist Manifesto. It inspired a whole lot of stuff, but at the same time, it also inspired Andrew Jackson and a whole lot of other horrible people. So it's
Hold on.
hard.
Morgan or Marx inspired Andrew Jackson?
Lewis Henry Morgan.
Okay.
No, absolutely no. I mean, hey, there are tons of Marx-inspired kind of crimes, but that's not really. I mean, a little bit of what I'm talking about, but not really. And those aren't. I don't find those to be great executions of Marxism in the slightest.
Okay. Good.
But and this is not a problem completely, it's at all with just communism. This is with anarchy, anarcho-communism.
So you're saying it's Western society and not
Yes, it's
the
very
Western
much.
intellectual tradition.
Yes, that's very much.
See, that's a very different thing to be reporting.
Well,
But the
yeah,
one and the
Enlightenment.
two are very.
I'm getting at what you're driving at. Enlightenment scientism then is which is a basis for a lot of our fucking society now. All right, yeah.
Now, let me see. Of course, now that was the leading force of Marx's, you know, foundations of primitive communism. That's mostly where I find issue with Marx and, you know, some of the other stuff. I really I don't like the way he worked backwards from capitalism. I think that's also a very bad way of doing it, because if you do that, well, I don't. It's just it's not really scientifically sound. One thing can lead to a worse version of the same thing that just looks different. Like I would say that capitalism is kind of a worse form of monarchy.
It certainly has it didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We talked about that one before. My
Right.
it's the CEO. The CEO, like if you look at liberal bourgeoisie democracy, right? The structure you have in two of those things, bourgeoisie democracy in particular, right? And the social element, the bourgeoisie, and the governing mechanism, the political. The contention is that everyone is going to be operating on Locke's social contract, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at capitalism, I even drew it. The ideal, like the ideal, how they basically premised it is there would be one capitalist and some shareholders who control the lives of the lower management, who then control the lives of workers and control the lives of consumers, and consumers have control over the workers' lives. So like the actual route of production is all sorts of fucked, and it's all sorts of monarchist. And in that regard, I agree with you. It is a worse form of monarchy because the justification, they don't even bother with the divine justification. It's just, I'm just better than you.
Yeah. I'm just richer than you. I own this fucking shit already, dipshit. Deal with it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So on that point, I 100% agree. But like, you can't have like. I go back and forth on this. You can't. The correct way to phrase it, I think, is you can't start the capitalism without the bourgeoisie democracy. What happens after the fact is irrelevant. Once the capitalists have their power, anything goes. But you can't start it without that, because you have to get people on board. And unless you like get them on board through like, well, you'll still be free, you'll still have more political power, but ultimately, like, I control the money, so it doesn't matter. That's kind of the dirty trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened. It was like, hey, you get more stuff. Look at this, huh? Isn't that cool?
You can buy so many butt plugs, you can cram them in every hole, and we'll still have more.
Exactly.
But I could kill you on the street because I have more money than you, so I'll just hire the Pinkertons to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. You can hire just a fucking security force. It's awful.
Yeah.
But
Get your citizen app.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Alexa, eliminate this guy.
Kill the proletariat.
Alexa, hire Pinkerton for 3 operations, please.
Oh, then we're down on
Right
Twitch.
away, sir.
Yes. Twitch banned again. Soft banned.
Let's go. That's what I hope for every time I'm on a podcast. Get them banned.
Yeah. We have been. How many times have we soft banned for that one episode about unions?
Oh, that was a few.
Every time we said Amazon.
Every time we said Amazon or Bezos, Twitch went down. But like Facebook and YouTube were like, good, yeah, blame it on him. Oh, yeah, please go on.
Now, because it is very much baked into these ideologies, there are not very many anti-colonial powers today. I mean, there's like 2 true ones. There's a couple, but it's like Rojava and the EZLN. But that's only because not only because they're in such a horrible position. It's also very much theological, but they're just not in a position to do it. Whereas people like station states like North Korea, while they're very much, their image is very much anti-colonial, anti-capitalist. That's not at all how they function. Same with somewhere like China and the USSR.
Yeah, they just can't help going into that imperialism pie.
It's a hot toddy. You get so much shit from it. I'm not there is very much a great benefit towards it.
North Korea kind of
Until you
can't.
collapse.
North Korea logistically can't be imperialist because you're trapped between China and a U.S. state functionally, right?
Right.
So like with the DPRK, like I don't know, I'll put it to you like this: there's some things I like about it, and some things like the public beatings and the executions I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, I'm not like a North Korea hater. I'm not like,
Yeah.
yo, these people fucking eat jeans, dude. They banned eating dogs, so now they eat jeans. No, that's fucked up. Like there is a place in my heart for Cuba and North Korea. I wish them all the best, and I don't think Juche is all that bad. I don't think like it's there's a lot of fucking shitty propaganda going on. Same with China. They're doing
Yeah,
some fantastic stuff. But
Someone
to
in the
say that,
U.S. is eating jeans right now.
I yeah I with the Chinese situation, that's why I had made that unpopular opinion tweak. Is like honestly, like I wouldn't feel so like awkward about, I wouldn't feel so. I don't know how do I put it best because they're the closest thing to a successful communist project right now. Um,
mean, hey, I really do hold a lot of hope for China as well. I think
yeah,
under Xi Jinping they did a lot of good stuff, like fucking with billionaires. I will never say no to that. That's always fucking amazing. Do
enemy of
more of
my
that.
enemy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I
Yeah,
don't. But there's always there's always some stuff to criticize, and from where it looks, it doesn't seem like they're going in that fantastic direction. But hey, reality is always confusing and surprising.
yeah. I don't like credit scores, so I don't like the Chinese version as much as I hate the American version. I
Horrible.
I'm okay with them wiping out the government of Chiang Kai-shek on Taiwan and making that Chinese, but like I'm not okay with them still having Tibet.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the most prominent forces of like neocolonialism, like
Yeah,
in a long time. Same with Xinjiang. Like it's kind of like that Germany moment where they like invade and the UN just doesn't, well, the League of Nations just doesn't do anything.
but yeah,
So
Xinjiang.
it's
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead first.
no, you go first. No
No,
worries.
you're the guest. You go first.
Okay,
I'm pissing on your feet now.
okay, of course, piss on my feet. But the League of Nations, the UN is they're both practically the fucking same. They're both absolutely worthless,
Yeah,
teethless organizations there to work for capital. Uh, and them stopping the colonialization of Tibet and Xinjiang does nothing to help them. Not even like not in the slightest. Especially not with China, not with the U.S. because that's just more productivity.
yeah. Well, you know what? I was listening to Trunon, and I think that's probably the best opinion I've heard of Xinjiang, right? And I'm not saying that at all properly, and I don't speak the language, and that's my fault. I'm a Western devil. But um, with that particular situation, there are an awful lot of those fighters who end up in like the Middle East.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, okay, that doesn't actually warrant what you're doing to women and school children and like dudes who are like, I'm gonna buy a pack of smokes
Yeah.
at 10 o'clock
It,
at night. Like, both things can be true. There can really be an Islamic terror problem
oh, yeah.
and
You could be
a
dealing with it poorly. Just
yeah,
look at every U.S. Intervention in the Middle East since forever.
right. And
Entirely.
there's
It's just awful.
yeah, and there's a real suspicion that like we're the ones who were like um goading them, at the very least goading the residents there into considering that.
Right. And I
I
mean,
imagine it. I imagine it like a Adam West Batman kind of situation.
Uh,
Drat spoiled again.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
exactly. I mean, most of the time these they're set up so that they're the losing force, much like Hamas and there's like I think yeah, ISIS as well. Like most of the big ones, they're funded by the people they're fighting. That's not a coincidence. There's not a coincidence that they're funded by the people that they lose to time and time again. Like
yeah.
it's just not at all. So that's very much a planned part of it. It's controlled opposition so that the other alternative, like the ones fighting for actual good, they are outshined and look like assholes.
Yeah. No, it's bloody shit. It's
Yeah,
bullshit.
absolutely.
Right out here in these streets.
All right, yeah, feel free. Absolutely. Like I said, you just continue. Don't worry. We're just gonna react to the snippets.
All right.
Yeah.
Now I've touched on that, but it's let's try to talk about how do we fix these sort of things. Now, where are we left now? What do we do? And that's like a really tough question because dangism. There's a whole lot of funny new ideologies that love that Marxist cloak that aren't really very Marxist. Now,
Yeah.
I do think within the past in like the recent there has been a good like distancing from like the horrible shit that Marx said, but it doesn't stop him from saying that shit. And it doesn't stop like there's definitely a reason why the Marxist-Leninist nations have no qualms in the slightest about colonialism. Like,
What do you define colonialism as? What are you like folding into the problem?
well, so I see there's two forms of colonialism. There is neocolonialism, which is forcing people out or forcing people to do things that they wouldn't like through the force of capital and preying on them because you can.
Yeah, economic coercion.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's
Now,
traditional.
yeah, and that's boots on the ground, take over the territory, completely legalize it as yours, and game done, finished.
Okay.
Now there's certainly different aspects of it. That's usually the end game. So that's what I like to refer to that as. And there
Yeah.
is no easy way of dealing with it, especially with like the bigger powers who wouldn't even listen to like the US even if they were a fantastically Marxist nation, like completely socialist. They just they wouldn't care because they would be churning out their own like, well, the US wouldn't fucking exist, but yeah, it's just
Well,
they would be churning capital.
yeah, this is where, okay, first off, we gotta lay some ground rules before we start this discussion. Everybody, I'm looking at you, Jenk, has to come in good faith.
Well, listen, in fairness to me, which I always try to be, I usually come in good faith.
Well, I'm not talking about your ejaculate tonight. I mean your debating skills.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Never mind.
no-
Also that.
Number two, this is a Hitler-friendly podcast in the sense that we approve both of Hitler's kill Hitler policy, and that we will not really shy away from saying things that are not left orthodoxy or heterodoxy. So,
Big shocker.
this is kind of funny because this is always the subject I try to avoid, actually, like the plague. If I'm going to be dead ass honest.
Yeah, of course. Like
Yeah.
it's not a fun conversation. I'm shitting in your bathtub.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks
Yeah,
to
you're
that.
welcome.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It'll be
So,
a nicer bathtub once it's all cleaned up.
all right. So I'm going to stake my claim now, right?
So Marx owns this? Is that how this works? He just kind of invented revolution, and it didn't exist before him. Is that what's going on?
That's exactly my problem with it. Is that he took these ideas and did not give them the slightest bent. Like they denigrated them. This is primitive communism, and though like he had some very horrible things to say about colonialism, and that because usually it was under like serfdom and like.
Yeah,
That it was
Can we agree that the materialism, the historical and dialectical materialism, is the baby we don't throw out with the bathwater, right?
No, no, absolutely, I do not. No, 100%. No, I 100% dialectical materialism, and like I appreciate a whole bunch of what he did.
Yeah, we know, you know what I mean? This is the problem. Like when we say kill all your idols.
Yeah, Marx is on the chopping block. I get it. So he's open for critique. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
No, well, the main thing I was gonna say is that, like, not just that,
I was actually going to say a lot of what Gangsticles was going to say there. The critical lens is really the key thing, and kind of the tradition that got left behind, honestly, more so than more so than him. And yeah, it's been distilled a lot, and like you can find any number of qualms to have with just like Marxism as a lens in general. Because you get to the shit with Adorno and everything, and obviously he was a giant racist because he couldn't stop fucking talking about how bad jazz was. Yeah. So
Adorno's your favorite.
Yeah, listen,
that example is great.
Awful. They're all awful, awful people, and like I'm just trying to say that it's okay to maybe cut Marxism.
Any people who were from that era that weren't awful?
Well,
I'm gonna go with the enslaved individuals.
I'm not. I mean, hey, I'm
the ones who weren't
gonna.
dead,
sure. I'm gonna play the. I'm gonna say. Nobody was, because we've all still got such a long way to go and learn.
Yeah. Okay. So which problem are we going to tackle? We're going to tackle that Marx was no more or less racist than his background period, because that's not. He's no Lovecraft. Like, let me put it that way. Lovecraft was fucking racist.
I mean, he did not have a cat with that name. I will say that. But
he's got that going for him.
Yeah, he was not walking around London freaking out about all the Chinese and Jews to the point he threw up and ran away crying. So.
Yeah, it's more like the classic just nationalistic kind of, I'm strictly superior than you. There's no like way too thinking about it too long kind of fucking weirdness to it.
As far as describing it as primitive accumulation, right? Because that's the term used.
Right.
I don't know if I necessarily find that to be all that terrifyingly morbid. It certainly is capitalist-centric, so I see what you're saying there, but I don't find that to be incredibly morbid.
If it were just that, but it's more so that he was basing it all from just the most skewed perspective possible, even at the time. Like, well, it's just not good.
I'm going to keep my defense very tightly around that phrase for a moment, because, like, again, somebody in the 1800s who wasn't a pedophile, I don't want to start labeling him as racist and say throw him out, but
right.
Because the 1800s were just as racist as today. Arguably,
it's
arguably
way worse. We've gotten way better. Okay,
I actually don't. That. I don't know if I believe that. I actually think their racism was like loud and proud, but like it was like boring.
I was just about to say it's gotten quieter.
Now they're not actively able to get away with it, so it's kind of tempered a bit.
The power of technology to really fuel racism is like.
It's insane. It's amazing.
I'm in the opposite camp. I don't think we've gotten very far on that front.
Are you saying that that at least when they were measuring skulls, they were being honest as opposed to like barbecue Becky's?
Yes. Hot sauce in your purse.
Having a barbecue.
It's that
they're. Oh wait.
Yeah, I think hot sauce in my purse is just as racist as phrenology, but I think they were honest about it.
Yeah, okay, I agree with you. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'm just saying, like, as a whole, I'm talking about educated society and the left. That's mostly what I'm talking about. We've gotten a hell of a lot better than back then, but still, there's still a lot of fucking nastiness.
I agree there. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that you see people drop like they're fucking like woke bombs, and it's like that was one of the most racist things I've ever read, and they're like, you're the fucking racist. I've seen that.
You're a towel.
Yeah, you're a towel.
I saw some shit this black dude was saying today. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was oh.
What was it?
I don't even remember. I'd have to go look it up, but it was incomprehensible.
Was he one of the black hammer fellas?
He was just throwing dog whistle after dog whistle after dog whistle, and it's head mind blowing because like I looked at the screen, I was like, wait a minute, what? This dude is saying this?
All I'm saying is if we want to get out of oppression, what we got to do is pull up our bootstraps.
My dude was like, states' rights, state rights.
Get out of oppression.
National identity.
Stop understanding the Civil War as
it was about economic, not slavery. Yeah.
Oh, he was looking in boots hard.
All right. So on the term primitive accumulation,
right?
What he's referring to there is the defining line of capitalism, which is the factory floor, which is instead of a holistic production method, you have before it not only hunter-gatherer situations or what we'll call primitive barter, right? Primitive exchange. It's not like Native American communities didn't know how to like assign an object debt and then exchange those debts
like
for
value.
stuff.
Yeah.
And use it to represent some sort of exchanged value for the labor performed. But just like everybody but basically England, the specialness of the term comes from like, and I don't want to say specialness, but like what is perceived as social advancement. Yeah. What is perceived in this context as social advancement is the way to alienate labor such that all you do today is fucking weld this one type of part because then we can make 80 of them instead of 4. Like that's the difference because that's where Marx like draws the line that under primitive accumulation you don't have the commodity fetish because you can't. You know the hunter. You know the hunter in a real sense both killed the animal and he's talking to you, right? Or she's talking to you or whatever.
Whoever is trading already has the means of production, and that's what they're selling is the fruits from it, rather than the other way around. You're selling your production for your fruits.
Right. So I
understand. I understand that.
Well, that's for the audience too, But
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I kind of don't want to lose that conception of it because that is a major dividing line in human history, just like the dividing line between nomadism or simple community, right, which includes tribalism, but I'm sure there were other forms we just don't talk about much.
Yeah, for sure. And
versus the evolution of the city.
Right. But that's not my issue at all. It's simply like the denigrating of it as primitive. Like it's communism and that mode of economics is not an easy thing to achieve. It's certainly not primitive, and to denigrate it as such is to denigrate the quote unquote already existing socialism, which is a little bit ridiculous.
Well,
you kind of just hit the nail on the head here. Like they're basically just reinventing what was already there in the most white way possible. So,
fair critique. I'm not married to the word primitive. I can use pre-capitalist accumulation as well.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Okay.
Like
I mean, you see these anarchists doing all this stuff and coming up with all these theories just to come back to indigenous knowledge.
There's.
Hey, the anarchist community, like this is definitely not a problem for just communists. This is the entire left. I would say the problem for the right too, except that they're very vocal about it, and it's one of actually their attracting features.
Yeah,
so,
they're proud of it, so it's like not so much a problem for them as a feature. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I mean on the, I am certain. Okay, so I am certainly like as I divide and you can verify with the other members here, the Sons of Trier. I sometimes periodically go through and start listing like my gripes with each one, and we can call that a subset problem. I think in the family of problems of man's superiority over nature, and misunderstanding man is separate from nature. But at the same time, there's like a reverse in anarchism that is the exact same. It's the same family of problems, but it's like, no, but that's good actually. And of course, again, not all anarchists, because like,
you're talking one right here, and I think human rights are a perfectly good idea as long as they're not enforced by a state.
I have a problem with rights because there's nothing on my body that produces rights. Like I think there's something more primordial.
We've had the rights conversation multiple times.
I think there is evolutionary rights. I come at it from a completely different angle, and that's mostly just the ability to like lead a good life and defend yourself. That's basically as far as the rights go.
Yeah, I tried that one too.
No, I reject, because again, like, what?
Evolutionary how?
Yeah, there's
What
no
do you
organ.
mean? What the
Let me
fuck?
just summate this
There's no
real
organ that
quickly
does
because
it.
I
Does
don't
it
want to
involve
get
the
into
shape
it
of your
again.
skull?
Please show me the organ that produces rights. Get fucked,
Yes.
Dan. There you go. That's the whole argument. Basically boils down.
The fist is the argument, is the organ that produces rights.
I love
Well,
that answer.
yeah, but that comes back to power creates. Power defines what is and isn't right. Like, I don't like that formulation. I don't think we should run with that.
No, and I that's not
But-
what my what.
I
But
think vagina
well,
is
if you
pretty right.
if you want my like, okay, I can give you my what I call a duality problem, right? You can't have anarchism because without a state, anybody else who isn't an anarchist just sees free real estate, and you're fucked. But if you're a communist, what's stopping communism from falling back to its favorite thing, which is great man theory, and just essentially turning authoritarian and stripping away the bullshit? Nobody has a good answer for either of those, frankly. That's what I found. I certainly don't. So, like,
no.
yeah, that's the problem. Is like,
Well,
and anarcho-communism could theoretically provide a mutualistic check system between the two, but I've not been impressed with that shit.
no. But to be fair, the same arguments could be levied for capitalism. Like, you're gonna fucking trade shit for paper? That'll never happen. That's fucking ridiculous. You're nuts, dude.
Well, in that regard, there I find a big difference between anarchism, communism, and capitalism, right? Or rather, the communists and the anarchists versus the capitalism, which is the idea that the CEO is going to be benevolent is far fucking more ridiculous than the problems we have as communists or anarchists, because at least we have the fucking balls to admit we have a problem. You people are living in a fucking fantasy land.
Exactly.
So like,
I
push
I
back
find
there. We're far more correct than they are.
yeah. So I find the solution would be to just, like, most of the time these things don't happen all at once. So when people will be okay with this is when they see it done. Like, Orwell went over to fucking, where was it again?
Spain.
Catalonia. He went over to
Yeah.
Catalonia. I mean, he was wonderfully impressed. So so that's exactly how that's done.
I'm not saying. No. My objection isn't that it can't be done. My problem is once it's done, the problem is everybody else isn't. That's the problem. The problem is the problem is sobering material based entirely on evidence. Again, yeah, they did it. I don't disagree with that. I don't think they did a bad job. The problem was there was still a state, and when the state showed up, that game was over. And again, I'm not. That's not a communism is superior in some way, because look at any Chinese country and tell me you can't find an authoritarian leader. I'll fucking wait, and then I'll call you a liar when you try to name one. Because that's what keeps happening. That's a failing of both systems. There has to be a monad collectivist resolution that doesn't allow for that outcome, and we have not invented it yet. Go ahead, John.
So I want to make 2 points. The first is that for the purposes of like rhetorical, like sort of ideal theory crafting, I only really consider anarcho-communism like a real thing in the way that like it describes an ideal like state of being. I don't think it's like a real fucking ideology. It's
kind of like soulism.
Yeah, it just all it really is it says, well, this is what the world would be. We would use this term to describe a world that's perfect, but we can't, or like a political economy that's perfect, however you want to fucking put it. I don't think it's like a real ideology.
I want to be clear.
It's
I did that in fucking high school.
To be fair, we've now pissed off the utopian socialists, the egotists who are an extension of capitalists. Let's be fucking real. So the capitalists.
The Marxists, the Dangists.
The Dangists.
Well, the coppers wouldn't even be in here.
And Amazon.
Yeah.
And Amazon.
Oh, we definitely pissed off Amazon.
Oh, and R. Kelly.
R. Kelly's
off R. Kelly. We just told him the truth that he didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
The best here. 1 second.
Doing good tonight, everybody.
Good one. It's a good one for sure.
Yeah.
Very productive.
It's a lot funnier than I thought this conversation would be.
I'm trying.
So, the best description of an anarchist society somehow reinforcing, like, you wouldn't call it authority. I guess you'd call it like reasserting its natural state of being. You guys know what I mean. I'm not trying to talk about authority here or anything like that. Anyway, it's in a book called Walk Away by Cory Doctorow. And basically that exact situation you're talking about, Dan, where like a bunch of anarchists are living on a commune together, and then like some assholes come along and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do like a ranked achievement based system, and like they come with guns and they sort of implicitly threaten everybody there, and they're like, all right, we're doing this now because it's a good idea. Basically the only way that it gets reinforced is that one of like the people that I guess everybody trusts, I wouldn't say this person has like authority, but like one of the people there that has been there for a long time and has communal trust just says, okay, then I'm done, and like basically spontaneously generally strikes, if you will. So that's been the description that's been the idea that I've seen that kind of works. Not really works, but is a description of something that could work in theory, which is just that like anytime you ever encounter the friction of authority, you are willing to quote unquote walk away from it and just general strike constantly if it becomes necessary.
That's
not a great point. I know. I'm only making the argument. I know it's not a great point.
I think that's okay, honestly. I think that the heightened level of solidarity,
I think you would be inclined toward that.
Yeah. As the other anarchist in the room tonight, yeah.
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 Okay,
yeah.
To be fair, we're pretty far apart on this, I would say.
Yeah, there's a very great distance of.
You know what though? Mike's a guest, and you're here for the beating, just like Jenk is. So settle down.
Yeah, that's fair. No,
Second off,
that is
Jenk,
true.
what do I yell at you for? Arguing about the abstract. What did you just do, John? What did you just do?
Hold on. Science fiction is a legitimate form of exploring certain ideology.
Fiction is a legitimate form of.
You make us do it every Saturday.
Yeah.
You're the motherfucker. You talk about fucking what's
what do I talk about? What do I talk about? Simulacrums and monads.
I'm completely you talk about Lovecraft all the time, and that's sort of science fiction.
Lovecraft is literally the guidebook to the American racist right. That has a very material backing. They're literally killing kids and raping kids to send them to Cthulhu so that they can keep having cornflakes and Denny's.
Oh, you're arguing in the abstract.
I'm not arguing the abstract. All of it. Motherfucker, are you telling me the right is fictional? Go ahead, say it. Say I'm arguing the abstract.
They're in a world of fiction. That's for sure.
But what they're goddamn well doing is very material. So go ahead and say it again. Make the claim that the American right, Trump and all that bullshit.
That's not the claim I made.
The child
claim that
rapist.
I made is you cite science fiction too.
I cite it because it fucking is fucking what's happening. These people think that when they feed babies to Molochs through Jeffrey Epstein's cock, they're gonna get to go to Denny's more. All right, that's not me not living in a fucking fantasy land. That's me describing their fantasy. That's not arguing in the abstract. That's arguing about an abstract. And those goddamn words mean something. You fucking Chomskyite.
Okay.
Oh, man, that's like calling him a trot.
Listen, don't insult Daddy, okay?
Goddamn. Yeah.
Boy.
I don't mind the bad faith.
I mean, that's what happens when you come in and throw bombs.
Yeah.
It's exactly. I don't even think it's bad faith. It's just the argument you got, and I'm here to talk about it. So hit me.
My main argument is that whatever system you move on to requires a phase shift in how people think and accept systems of either authority or non-authority, however you want to put it. Either thing requires a phase shift in how people think about and interact with the world. That you have to go from, like you have said, you have to go from homo economicus to homo socialist or homo anarchist or homo communist, however you want to put it. Right. Either way, you are talking about that. And I happen to like that other version better. So that's the point that I'm making.
Well, okay. So if I want to describe the duality problem a different way, right? My problem with anarchism is it wants to abrogate all power and that kind of responsibility derived from power. And my problem with communism is it's too quick as a solution to centralize all power. It's just too fucking quick to jump to that gun and be like, that's what we got to do. And I'm guilty of it as well, right? So that kind of a system.
No, that's where I see anarchism completely different. I don't think we need to do away with power. There's no way we can do without power. That's how it is.
Well, somebody's got to
There's
do
always
something.
there's always going to be some sort of power. It's just
Yeah.
about distributing that power to every person equally. Like that's what it is in my mind.
Yeah, it's
Answer that.
meetings all day. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the meme
I mean,
about it.
right. And listen, meetings. Hey, I would love if that's my only worry. No rent. No, we need to worry about food. No need to worry about fucking anything. Just fucking meetings. Sign me the fuck up.
I do it just for healthcare.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's like I said, that's where I get stalled out on, like when I start getting real abstract with it, I get stalled out because those two problems are they're too glaring. And really anybody who says otherwise, to me it's like, motherfucker, the evidence is in front of you. Like, that's not my fault you refuse to read it. Like,
no, for sure.
I
Yeah.
can't make you learn it. I learned it, now I hate myself.
Yeah, exactly. The American left doesn't listen to the American right because that is one of their few actual criticisms of the left, is that these systems seem a little too easy to hijack. And in the case of Marxism, I mean, like, yeah, and in the case of anarchism, I mean, it's not to be seen yet. It keeps getting fucking plowed over by either Marxism or capitalism. So, I mean,
well, we already know what happens when Marxist-Leninists go up against anarchists. We saw it in Russia. It didn't end well.
yeah, no, they need that land. They need that capital. It's quite simple.
Yeah, that shit ended. Like that situation right there sums up my two problems. That's the duality problem.
Yeah, entirely.
What were they gonna fucking do about it? And like, why did you have to take that step necessarily? You couldn't work out an Oblat deal or something? You
They could have.
an autonomous zone. You couldn't do that, Lenin.
There's just a lot of things that were done as power moves by the USSR that simply didn't need to be done. Like the Winter War is kind of like the most shining example of that. But yeah, the way they treated anarchists and minorities especially, oh my goodness, that was awful.
Well, yeah, they learned they had a problem with Jews.
They had a problem with the Tatars. They had a problem with a whole lot of minorities. They sent them all sorts of places, and it's awful, awful.
I'm not here to defend that.
No, I'd hope no one is here to defend that.
Out of spite.
Hey, now that's fun.
Yeah, devil's advocate.
Listen, but how would those Russian workers get their cigarettes? Oh, I did not think of that.
Get their shitty Soviet cigarettes because of the embargoes. I'm sorry.
Hey, they're great. They're fantastic cigarettes.
Listen, no filtered cigarettes. I do envy them, but the shit we have in ours, I would not smoke a non-filtered in this country.
I mean, I don't think I would ever smoke a non-filtered cigarette. Those things seemed horrifying, with floor shavings and everything. Not good.
If they don't have the American recipe for a cigarette, which is like polonium and formaldehyde, unfiltered cigarettes are badass.
Arsenic and like everything bad.
Yeah. My problem with cigarettes is not the cigarettes; it's the shit that Americans are allowed to put into cigarettes, and that is now the global standard.
Yeah. It's
Wait a minute. Back up. You mean you don't want rat poison in your cigarette?
Yes. I like smoking. Smoking is cool.
Smoking is cool, but not formaldehyde.
If it's not like actively punishing for me, then what's the point?
We all know if you smoke, you poke. And sir, I poke. That's why I want my cigarettes back, because that should hold true. If I poke, I smoke.
Right? Infallible logic.
Yeah. Well, that's the closest thing you're going to get from circular logic, Ben Shapiro level from me. I try very hard to not do, John and I work very hard not to be the standard for Jewish intellectualism, which is God is real because he's real. Which I'm gonna push back. If we're like, okay, I'm gonna be real right now. I'm gonna do some deep dish anti-fucking Zionism here. If that's your fucking standard of logic, do you really have a lock to claim that you know what's best for Palestinians? Because your standard's Ben Shapiro, and I'm sorry if that's your standard. Like, I know school children who can bust that logic up. May not be a proper argument to do, but they will fucking backbreak Ben Shapiro with that brain fucking geniusness. So I'm just saying, this Jewish supremacy going on in Israel, are you? Because that's your guy. He threw a fit on a friendly news show. Okay.
Oh, that was awesome. That was fucking hilarious.
That did rock. It rocked my cock. I was
like, that was fucking amazing. Same vibes as George Bush getting almost hit by a shoe. Fantastic.
Yeah. That was his shoe moment. Only Ben caught that right in the fucking face.
Yeah. He failed completely. He didn't even look cool like fucking George Bush did. No.
Yeah.
George Bush's fucking ratings go up after that thing.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they, dude? It was fucking radical from both ends. The dude threw a shoe at George Bush.
Searching for George Bush.
Yeah.
And George Bush fucking dodged it like a ninja. Both of them. He dodged both shoes.
Oh yeah. No, that some bitch was not getting taught. You could tell he's dodged a shoe before.
He's been to Muslim countries, absolutely.
Is the Bush Ranch a Muslim country now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, they have a lot of Saudi princes there.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I'm willing to entertain that argument.
Yeah.
Little Islamabad.
Little Islamabad.
Yeah.
The heart of Texas, y'all.
Yeah. We got a beautiful ranch here down in Texas, y'all. We got some prayer mats down. We got ourselves some ISIS training camps.
You know our cows are halal too.
Yeah, well, these cows are pure halal. 100% in line with the teachings of the prophet. It's really
glory be unto America and Allah.
All I'm saying is God bless America, or if you're talking proper, praise be to Allah.
Inshallah.
He will be boiled soon. Alhamdulillah.
Now, how many missiles can I put you down for?
Yeah. That's at the fucking souvenir stand on the ranch.
600 and 1,000 quarts of blood, please.
Yes.
Oh, you get one free.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
You got a special going on right now.
I don't know shit.
I love the missile specials.
We'll go ahead and throw in some illegal gases.
Man, I wish I could have gotten to like Iraq at the right time, where I could just like buy scuds from Saddam and just be like, okay, don't worry, I got this. I know what I'm doing with these. You point and click, right? You aim at the airplane.
Yes, 100%. That's how they train their soldiers to do it.
Yeah.
He gets caught. What were you thinking?
I'm gonna be a war hero like John McCain.
I just wanted to play video games. It's like a video game, right?
Yeah. I want to be a hero like John McCain right now.
Yeah.
Best Vietnamese fighter pilot.
Fuck, what's that guy? Who's that? Yeah, Dan Crenshaw. You want to be just like Dan Crenshaw?
No, I don't want to be like Crenshaw. Crenshaw's an American pig.
Hey, they all are.
Hey, but John McCain, though, for real, best Vietnamese pilot. Took down 10 American fighters by himself.
Did he really?
Yeah, he crashed like 10 planes.
That's amazing. And he lived?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
they make those planes way too safe.
Oh no! Every time he couldn't fly a plane. Like he was in training to be a pilot, and because of like his family, like they just kept letting him crash planes.
Well, that gave the military quite the budget boost that year, I imagine.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! But yeah, I'm not kidding you. Like in the fucking war, he was supposed to like the reason he got caught is because he crashed yet another plane.
That's awesome. That's wicked.
Yeah, I was like. That's why that's why that joke about him being the best Vietnamese fighter pilot, like, I don't know of anybody else who took down 10 airplanes. Like,
That's true. Like, he's like one of those dudes that migrated to North Korea during the war. Like he got away with it. He came back too, and he's fine. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, but I'm pretty. The rumor mill is that his family was paying off the North Vietnamese to keep the torture a little bit lighter.
Oh, I bet. Oh,
Yeah.
I bet. Absolutely. There's no way. If he can crash 10 planes, he's got that money.
Yeah,
Just a little torture.
just a little.
Hey, he's got to learn the lesson from crashing all those planes.
Yeah. Well, like, on the one hand, you're an American devil. You're here to invade our country and overthrow our system and kind of, enslave us.
Give him back. We'll pay you. He's already a little tortured.
Yeah. But
torture him less, and we'll wire you some good stuff.
yeah. But on the other hand, you did take down American.
See you later.
Plane. You did hamper their air effort. So
like more single-handedly than any fucking soldier I've ever heard of before. That's amazing.
Yeah, like
there's some pretty badass soldiers out there.
It's true, and he's one of the most badass of them.
Yeah, well, most badass Vietnamese fighter pilot by complete accident.
By complete, yeah.
Yeah.
He stumbled his way into it, just like everything else, really.
If memory serves me, there was one he managed to crash on an aircraft carrier without ever leaving the ground. Like, he's that bad at it, or was that bad at it.
He just destroyed the engine from takeoff. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's honest to God, I think that's why. Like, deep down, I think that's why he was like, I'm gonna stay here with my unit, because like the only thing he did in that, like, he wanted a political career on the basis of being the soldier guy, and like,
he got it.
He got a whole lot of torture.
But he couldn't get it on the basis of his skill in combat. So he had to be like, well, at least I'm a hero because I stayed with my unit and I didn't like when I was going up for trade because I'm a rich boy, I went, no, that's wrong. My unit goes or I stay. Like, that's the gamble to that, because he was like, the North Vietnamese probably aren't going to kill me. And like, in the background, from what I've been told, is the family was paying off the North Vietnamese, and they were like, well, $10,000 is $10,000. Can't hate that.
And we get to torture a guy less. Sounds great.
Yeah, we you don't get to sleep and you eat like shit, but otherwise, like, no bamboo for you.
You get to keep your nails.
Yeah. So like,
and your eyeballs.
I don't want to.
That's for the very unlucky.
Yeah, you kind of have to like really. You have to say some really bigoted shit for them to be like, all right, let's blind.
Your eyes are gone.
Yeah. Because they were fine with like ripping out your nails with the bamboo shoots if they caught your ass to get information. Like, they were like, the rest is inhumane. I mean, the nails grow back. It's just, your fingers hurt like hell for a while and they bleed. But like, come on, man.
Get them back.
Don't make us do the eye thing.
Yeah, those don't come back. Not even the slightest.
No. Oh. Well, this show got morbid.
Hey, I'm here, man. You gotta.
That's true. You're an evil man. Can I ask? And you don't have to answer. But what was up? What was up with your account today? What happened?
Oh, I'm just taking a break from Twitter.
Oh, okay. I was worried.
Yeah. No worries.
Well, I freaked the fuck out because I was like, we're supposed to have a guest on. What the fuck? Wait, where is he? No.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, you didn't add me on Discord yet, so I should probably like let him know that I'm still around and not dead.
Yeah, I was real worried.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was genuinely worried about your well-being, and I was like, oh god, no, he's not dead, right?
No, I'm just I'm
probably
just taking.
Got a guess he's dead.
Yeah.
It's me, Bernie.
Aww.
Oh,
hey, there's so many Bernies that are like either dead or near dead. So
we know.
You fill in those blanks.
We know.
Oh man.
But yeah, Twitter just fucking sucks. So I was like, you know what? I'm gone for like a week.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'm the kind of sicko where like Twitter is where I belonged all along.
All along.
I feel the same way. Like, you can say some off the cuff shit. You can be crazy on that website. It's amazing, but there's just some straight up awfulness to it. Just awfulness.
Yeah, it's the that 280 character limit, like.
Oh, that was a death knell. That's a CIA. I swear to God, that's CIA something. It has to be.
Yeah, that's enough to formulate a thought but not be clear.
Yeah, it's like you form the very rudimentary thought, but you no nuances in the slightest, and you have to cut out some important parts too. So they're only getting like a fart of an idea.
Yeah. Well, that's why you see my wall is just threads. Like that's why all it is threads. Like
Oh yeah,
no bullshitting around. Just a huge amount
Yeah.
of threads.
I chose like Substack for that, but yeah, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way you're gonna form one tweet and it's half of a thought. It's half. It's
Yeah.
not. It's just awful.
Nah, I thought about doing a Medium or a Substack. I mulled that over.
It's or like Twitlonger even. Twitlonger is like slightly better.
Maybe. I might do it. I don't know. I might do the Medium, just be a Medium guy.
Yeah, the medium's not bad. I mean, hey, it's you get to write as long as you want. You can use commas and shit. You can use like a fucking double dot one. I forgot. I've been on Twitter so long. I forget what that's called.
You know, for as much as you rag on this person, your goal is to have a pretty similar trajectory to Coffee Spoonie. Isn't
No.
Oh,
it?
Oh, John, you are going to HR after the show.
Oh god, Sons of Trier HR.
Yeah, it's me. Spoilers.
spoilers.
Anarcho, do you know who Coffee Spoonie is?
Not at all. I was trying to think of the name, but
good for you. You might
They're
recognize. You might recognize the profile picture, but yeah, Spoonie is Dan's favorite tweeter.
She's not my favorite tweeter, but
No, she isn't. She isn't.
She's my favorite tweeter.
Yeah, she's Jinx. Jinx in love with her. She's a particular
It's all
kind
hypothetical,
of
of course,
identitarian.
but still.
just looking at the Twitter account, I understand what kind of person this is.
Don't worry, we do too.
Yeah. She's a particular kind of identitarian where like all things have to be run only through the identity and like well John and I don't classify as Jews in her world, but she's opposed to the the occupation and the aggression.
Now, to be fair, I qualify. You don't.
So wait, what doesn't qualify you as a Jewish person?
It's time for Jew talk.
Yeah, a little. We'll keep it brief, but basically, I'm by blood, not by religion, because I wasn't.
Jew down.
And-
We're Jews who ran away and then like hid it under Protestantism.
Okay, all right.
My mom's Jewish, and wait, your mom's Jewish too, isn't she?
But it's through my grandfather. It's my grandfather's bloodline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the catch. Yeah. Oh, we
So-
broke the chain.
Just to clarify very quickly, if you're the only way you count quote unquote as being Jewish is if your Jewish heritage is completely matrilineal.
So that's kind of like okay. So in the indigenous community, we have like a term called blood quantum. Is that Jew quantum?
I don't know enough about that. That does sound really cool, and I really am inclined to say yes.
Zombie movie?
That sounds, but like that's not.
He just wants to say yes because it sounds really cool, though. So
Quantum of Jewish.
you're definitely gonna avoid that.
The idea is that you are not like indigenous enough unless you're either like a full blood or like some that's from your mother's side or father's side, depending on the tribe. It's really fucking weird, and I don't fuck with it in the slightest.
No, for Jews, it's just your grandfathers and your father can be literally anything as long as the daughters were always Jewish. So if your mom has to be Jewish, your grandmother has to be Jewish, her mother has to be Jewish, her mother has to be Jewish, etc., etc.
Yeah.
It does not matter what the husbands are.
It's
Um,
It basically has to go back to fucking Eve practically.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a similar logic to the Japanese imperial system, actually. Like complete without any influence, mind you, but it's a very similar logic because like you have to be in the Japanese imperial family, not adopted, to be able to sit on the throne, and you have to be a boy. But like, if your mother is of the bloodline, that's sufficient for you to qualify as a boy to then take the throne. because
yeah, it's
you have to be directly descended from Amaterasu, and like in the Jewish case, you have to be basically functionally descended from Eve, even though they probably would never say that. That's what they're talking
right.
about.
Yeah, it's like the implication.
Yeah.
hmm
So like it's one of those deals, and it honestly does sound similar, but like I don't know if it's fair to like.
Oh no, I only said that because it was very funny.
Yeah.
I mean I don't know the
to
term
view
for
it.
it. I mean they're very similar concepts of shit. They're very similar concepts of bad shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just fucking hilarious.
I'll tell you my funny story about indigenous people. My dad one time when he was running from the cops from like a cocaine charge, he hid on a reservation and he stayed around long enough. He was like, I should just see if they'll let me join this tribe, because like in his mind, federal law didn't apply.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he ended up. They let him do it.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was a little bit sus on. I was like, why? What do they think they're getting out of this?
Nothing. I mean, hey, as long as like this is what I try to say. As long as you got the spirit, you got the heart. You're free to stay anywhere on reservation country. Like it's you just that's all it is.
Okay, because once he got arrested again, he dropped that act.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, hey, they didn't cover him up enough. They were like, well, we don't want the fucking trouble. This is gonna be way too much trouble. We've got enough from fucking hooligans here.
Yeah, well, I mean, with my old man, yeah, they did. I'm pretty sure they figured out the racket, and we're like, okay, we're not disappointed. But like he came to me, he's like,
mad.
He came to me and he was like, do you want to join? And I'm like, I don't. That feels weird.
Yeah, that does feel fucking weird.
I think he meant it. I think he meant it at the time.
He 100% meant it.
He was like, "This is a bonding experience. My boy will join this fucking indigenous tribe." And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I was like little, so I was like, I don't know, Dad. That seems kind of weird.
Even at 8, that's fucked up. And it's like,
yeah,
Dad, that's not us. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if that's for us. Like I live in a town of 70 white people. Like, you bumped my broom. I had that. All right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I've man, living in fucking rural PA has been fucking weird. It's weird.
Yeah, anywhere rural it's definitely it's both stranger and not as strange as the city, because you don't see like the real underbelly anymore, but it still bubbles up.
Yeah, shit goes down, but it's weird shit. It's
the underbelly.
Yeah. All right.
Like I just you go to a city and there's like crazy fucking people. Like there's just awfully fucking crazy people just everywhere. Like on the bus,
right.
You gotta deal with crazy fucking people. Like in a mall, you gotta deal with crazy people. It's just that's everywhere. That's everywhere in a city.
That's true. Turns out people are crazy.
Yeah, it's something
and when you
evolved
have
from
more
monkeys
people,
and
more
nuts.
of the crazy shows up.
Yeah, it's almost like there's capitalism and schizophrenia. Oh, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, swish. Yeah.
The real theory is that capitalism gives you mental illnesses, and it's a mental illness.
Yes, I agree. I'm there. That's where I'm at.
It's the ultimate mental illness.
Yeah.
It's certainly the biggest one.
Yeah. Well, with that, we were the Sons of Trier with special guest from the Babbycast, Mike.
Yep, this was my time. Thank you all very much for the fantastic discussion. I hope I didn't shit in your pie too much. Thank you for letting me on, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, not enough that I wouldn't have you back to shit my weed again.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. My shit tastes good.
Hey,
it's got a musky funk to it.
Let's not. Maybe let's not get out of hand.
Mull it over.
All right, everyone. The 4 people who watched, good night. Have a good one. Catch us later.
Night, America.
Get mad. Please get mad. I need the interaction. Get mad.
I fucking, you people smell poopy, and that's my night.
That's not attributable to Sons of Tree.